and welcome to another episode of Confidence According To. I'm so excited for today's interview because I have the gorgeous Anna Shilina here with me. I met Anna, a few months ago, earlier this year. Anna is an author, she is a business coach, she is a speaker, she has amazing online courses and an online business, and she's got so much insight to share, and I can't wait to hear what exactly you're going to share with us today. So thank you for being here today, Anna.
Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm so excited to be here.
Thank you. So you've got these many hats, and I'm guessing that you didn't kind of start your journey with all of them all at once. You've only got 24 hours in the day like the rest of us. So how did your journey begin?
Okay, so it started with the one book really, which helped me get super clear on my message and on what I wanted to put out in the world. And it wasn't a linear journey at all in any sense of the world. So it's not like write a book and the rest will kind of like sort itself out. There were lots of moving pieces. So, but that definitely started the, okay, what do I stand for? What's my message? What am I good at? And like putting all the bits and pieces together. So that was the starting point. But that was by far not where the learning and the journey kind of ended, and still hasn't ended really. It's ongoing, like you know yourself. And so after that, it was, meeting the right people, aligning with people who are doing what I wanted to do as well, and learning from the best in the world, and going like, okay, someone else has figured this out already. Let me not try and reinvent the wheel, and and just like humble myself and find answers from people who've done it before. And I think that's where it kind of like really started taking off, where I didn't have to figure it out myself anymore, because other people had taken this journey and had all this experience, and then I started aligning with those types of people. So yeah.
And did you always know that you wanted to be an author? Did you start that straight out of school? How did you begin that?
Never in a million years.
Yeah.
Never in a million years. Even when I had committed to the first book, I was like, is this really happening, kind of thing? Like, how has this now come into my journey and come into across what I wanted to do? And the first book came out of more frustration than anything else. I wanted to be taken seriously. I was a young blonde in a man's world in the security industry, and I had to prove myself time and time again. Every time I'd walk into the room, it's like, who do you think you are, etc., etc. And I wanted something to go like, this is what I stand for, this is why you should buy into me, without having to fight this uphill battle the whole time. So I won't ever like say that I was hit by inspiration one day and wanted to write this book. It came out of necessity. Like they say, innovation comes out of necessity. And this is like the very like truth in my life and my journey, where I just like needed to be taken seriously. I needed to brand myself, and that's how it started.
Oh, that's amazing. And the fact that you actually followed through with it and took that action, and where that has now led.
Yeah, I did say it took me longer than I said it was going to take me, and what that did for me now is be okay with not my own timelines and the universe's timelines, and let go so much of my own kind of like rat race and expectations of myself, and be like, the book will be published when it's the perfect time for it to be published, even if it takes 18 months longer or 12 months longer or whatnot. But yeah, it was definitely, like I said, not a linear process at all.
Oh, that's also comforting to know, because we have this expectation that, once I get from A to B, then C is the natural progression, and so we go. But yeah, life is never like that, is it?
Absolutely not. And how boring would it be if it was?
Yeah, you're so right.
Yeah, so we think we want it to be simplified and, lay out the path, but have you ever noticed that as soon as that path starts to get laid out, we get bored and we throw in some distractions and some
shiny
challenges.
object syndrome.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we think we want it to be simpler, but really what we demonstrate is that we don't really. We want this dynamic kind of environment that helps us become these creative beings at the end of the day.
And give yourself permission to play in that space.
Yeah. Exactly. And it does come if I may say this, like with age, like just being okay with like not being so strict on myself, because I was a very studious person like throughout school and varsity. So everything was like, if you do X, then you know this will happen, and that was very easier. And then you get into the real world where none of that applies, and you're like, okay, I'm figuring all of this out from scratch, and so it takes time.
Yeah, I mean, I've thought of that concept before as well, and in my opinion, it comes from that institutionalization that we inherit, you know, from school, and then university we start to see glimpses of how messy life really is, and then once you finish that, then you realize, shit, there's nothing that is in order, there are no rules, you make it up as you go along.
Yeah. I really like to talk about, I don't know if have you heard of the reality distortion order?
No.
So like Steve Jobs and the Elon Musks of the world, the guys who really like shake things up big time, they have been they've been said to have reality distortion order, where they just don't see the world as the rest of us see it, and they have this like, you know, different viewpoint and everything. So that's the reality distortion disorder. Yeah. But I really say it's like reality distortion order, because it's all distorted, and it's just about who of us owns that and goes like, what do we want our reality to look like versus what other people are going to dictate it to look like, if that makes sense.
Oh, absolutely.
So
I love that.
Reality distortion order.
There we go. And there's freedom in structure. You know, if we just create that ourselves, for ourselves, in the way that we want it to look, that's where we find our freedom.
Yes, exactly. But first we have to give ourselves permission. Or as a coach, I often give other people permission, because so often we know what's good for us, and we know what we need to do, and we have all the tools and knowledge under the sun, but we're just waiting for that sign from the universe or any deity you want to call it, and then as a coach sometimes I'm like, well, you know, what do you want to do? And then they tell me, I'm like, well, then do it. And then it happens.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
like just being that permission slip is like
totally.
really interesting sometimes.
Something so simple could be so life-changing.
It is, but we're infinitely wise and we're infinitely resourceful. We just are in our own ways often, a lot of the time, and sometimes it does take that third party, someone to see it from the outside, to go like, yep, that sounds good. Go ahead,
let's do that.
Exactly.
Awesome. So Anna, what are the types of clients that you typically work with?
Most of them are service-based entrepreneurs from around the world. I have global programs, mostly with coaching teams. So I like to work in teams because we all kind of bring our expertise. So I'm the performance coach, someone else is the sales coach, someone else is the systems and processes coach, someone else is the marketing coach. So that way you get like an all-rounded kind of approach and system that really transforms people's businesses and lives. I don't like programs that are solely relying on like one person, because that's a risk for the student, a risk for the coach, and all those kind of things. Mainly service-based, a lot of freelancers, self-employed people who want to up-level and price themselves at a premium rate. So what does that look like from an offer point of view, and what does that look like from communicating your value? Because it's one thing to have value and to know that you have value, it's someone to tell you that you do, but it's another thing to actually know how to communicate it to an ideal client in a, you know, saying the right things, prizing yourself as the commodity that you are, the high-end commodity that you are, and all of those things. So all those skill sets are put together in a program. And then I also work with a lot of agency owners, specifically Facebook marketing agencies, and where they go from charging, or you know, revenue of $10,000 in their business a month to $80,000 within like 3 to 6 months, kind of thing. So in teams we do that.
And so your model is very much a collaborative model.
Yes.
So you are each individual coaches in your own right, but you've all come together and you're offering your expertise to form one program that covers all bases.
Exactly. Form one program that has a specific outcome for that student. So it's all about the framework and the outcome, and then the right kind of coaches slot in to serve the students.
So then this came after you writing your first book. And so how did you know then that was the time for you to go into this coaching space?
Really great question. And a lot of it, like I was trying to figure this out for so long, and it's really when the market started giving me feedback that yes, what you're doing is transforming my life. Yes, I'm willing to pay this much for your services. Yes, like, you know, so when you start getting that validation of your value, that you have a valuable product to offer or service to offer, that's where it really like started listening to those clues and cues.
Yeah.
Because you can be as valuable and as great in a vacuum as you want, but there's no ways that you're going to be able to monetize that and create an epic lifestyle and financial freedom for yourself if you don't listen to your marketplace. So you have to work together with it, and you have to be very curious and open to it, and not go like, this is it, that's all I'm doing, and, you know, screw everyone else. It's really about the interaction and the dynamic between the offering that you have and what the market has to say about that.
On a practical level, how did you then find the people that you collaborate with? And you've explained that they're all over the world. So how did that happen? And how do you know that they are the right people to collaborate with in the first place?
Well, you'll never know in the first place unless you give it a try. So I met them through various online channels and online groups and everything. I also invested heavily into coaching myself, where I met other people who could afford that level of expertise and everything. So you kind of are already on a certain level and certain tier because of the ticket price into there. And from there you start chatting to, because then I was like, I'm the stupidest person in this room, so I'm going to absorb everything I can from these people who know more than I do, who charge much more than I do, who have been doing this more than I do, or more than I have, and start, you know, just reaching out and going like, hey, so tell me about your business, tell me what you do. And eventually these partnerships kind of form naturally where there was a need. So for example, one who started the Facebook Ads Academy, she's like, I'm looking for a mindset and performance coach because I'm giving them all these tools, but they're not utilizing them to its full potential. Anna, can you help me? And because I was just sharing with her my strengths and what I do, she like naturally came to me to collaborate on this. So that's how it started. And all you need is that one collaboration and that one client, that one yes. You don't need a whole bunch of a million gazillion different things. You just need the right type of partnerships, the right type of people in your surroundings and your world. And that's it's all about people, really, and it's all about who you surround yourself with. And I'm all about the high vibe tribe, like bring it on. Like I'll go to the lengths of the world to surround myself with high vibe people. And if you do, there's no ways that you could fail. It's just that's how it works.
And speaking then of people, did you have these kinds of influences in your life when you were growing up, while you were still in school, before you went to university? And how do you think that impacted where you are now?
Great question. I think that my biggest influences were my parents. So my dad and my mom and my sister and I, our small little family, immigrated to Cape Town from Ukraine. I was 6 years old. And just that, it's a real thing, that immigrant kind of mindset where do whatever it takes. Like my dad to put food on our table, and he went from being a director of a school to selling sandwiches on the street, just to like do whatever it takes kind of thing. I'm actually interviewing him as a series of conversations with your parents and learning more from them and stuff. And he was very enterprising and entrepreneurial himself, and a very do whatever it takes type of person. So having that so close to me obviously helped. And then as young as we were, then my sister was 8 and I was 10 or something, my dad had us read the Rich Dad Poor Dads of the world and Who Moved My Cheese and Millionaire Mindset. And so he that was the only way we could get pocket money, really. So we were I hated it at the time. I was like, everyone else gets to do their bed and get this pocket money, and I have to read this book and do this project and everything. But it served me obviously big time, and he knew what he was doing, or maybe he did, maybe he didn't. But those types of influences would definitely helped. And so I could never be where I am today if I didn't have that kind of perspective also from my parents' side, and also just knowing what they went through to get us to where we are today. It's I owe them this kind of thing. And that's a very empowering feeling, because I want to give back and I want to empower other people with these kinds of tools, because everyone deserves an epic lifestyle, and it's about being exposed to it. So that's my mission, is to expose people to these kind of tools.
Wow. Oh, what a gift. What a gift your dad gave you in that action.
At the time, it didn't look like it. It looked like a huge burden.
But isn't
like
that
most
the lesson
things,
in life?
like most things.
Absolutely. That you can think that it's like, why did this happen to me? You know, damn my bad luck. But it could be the biggest gift you could ever have asked for.
Exactly.
It's amazing. So then when you started out on this journey, this entrepreneurial journey, how confident were you?
Okay, so I started out going, I want to be an entrepreneur. What do I do? Because with the influence that I told you about with my parents, I knew that I wouldn't be completely satisfied just working for someone else, doing the whole corporate thing, 9 to 5. So I want to be this entrepreneur. And then I was like, then I was stuck. Because what does that mean? Like, in which field, what value, what problem are you going to solve? Because businesses, they solve problems. I had none of those kind of things. So I literally had no idea what I was doing in the property business, in the exporting business. It was only when it came to the security business, the reason why there was more confidence, not in myself as much, but in the system.
Okay.
So basically I said to, it was the group that was from Johannesburg, and then I built the brand up in Cape Town. And so I knew that if I could apply my zest and my ambition and my energy to something that has already worked before, like, you know, they've got a working model, then I could make it work. So I didn't have confidence in myself as much as the system. And only once I started again getting that feedback, going like, yes, you signed this contract, yes, you started this contract, yes, you're growing by X amount of revenue per month, and you know, now you have all these hundreds of guards and everything. That's where the confidence came in, and definitely wasn't like, and it's like, you know, I knew that I had energy, I knew I had ambition, and knew I had I want more kind of like
desire.
the moreish kind of thing out of life, but I had no idea how to apply it. And if you don't have something to apply it to, there's no way you can be confident. That's completely false. If like I could see there was like a false kind of confidence because of the ambition, but I had more confidence in what I was applying my energy to than myself as an entity.
Yeah. And so then how did you develop the skills and the knowledge that you needed to be able to gather that forward momentum?
Really great question as well. So I have tried so many different things. I'm very much actually my assistant yesterday goes like, is there anything you don't do? And I'm like, knitting maybe. But I've literally, hopped on airplanes and, did the travel world thing. I then started one business in property, then another business in exporting, then security, then wrote a book, then started coaching and speaking, and now pick up like guitar or golf, or like I've always like try to pick things up, because I really think if you don't know what to do, just say yes to as many opportunities and see what sticks. After a point, which I think I'm at right now, is you start having to say no more and more. So it's first it's like yes, and then seeing where your natural abilities kind of stick and everything. And then once you have found your groove, then you have to start with the no train and go like, okay, now this doesn't. You refine. So what I find happens with a lot of people who are stuck in like careers, or they don't know, they've been in a job for 8 years, and they just unfortunately they just haven't tried enough things. So the first thing that I always encourage people like that is do something that's not a huge risk, but just try different things. Go rock climbing, or do something that's outside your comfort zone, and just build that being outside your comfort zone muscle, because it's really just, now I can jump into almost anything and go like, I'll figure it out, only because I've figured it out so many freaking times. If I've never had that practice of just going for it and figuring it out, I would never know that I can do. So my very first step, because I'm at this stage where a lot of people are like, oh, I want to shift things, and like, just do something that's maybe don't like quit your job and like, you know, do the whole like huge risk thing, but do something that's outside of your comfort zone as often as possible, so you can build that practice. And then you have confidence in your own ability, in your own resourcefulness, in your networks, in the things that are around you, in your environment. And that's the only way that I could get here. If I just did one thing, I'd probably not have as much kind of like confidence, if you want to call it that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, for me, I firmly believe that comfort zone is the cornerstone of confidence, and if you choose to stay in it, your confidence, they're correlated, that your confidence will dip, whereas if you step outside that comfort zone, your confidence has a chance to fly.
Yes, exactly.
They go hand in hand. You can't have one without the other, and one will affect the other one directly.
Yes. Oh, so many people need to hear that.
I know.
Unfortunately, people think they can have the best of both worlds. They can have this cushy comfort zone and the most epic confidence and lifestyle on the planet, and it just does not work that way.
It's not. It just doesn't work. Yeah. You have to be out of your comfort zone to get the confidence, and if you stay in your comfort zone, you won't get that confidence, not true confidence anyway.
Exactly.
So your journey sounds exciting and it sounds rosy and idyllic. Have there been any tough times, any dark moments? What were they and how did you get through them?
So I've been, like I said, through many transitions, and while they might sound like smooth transitions where it's one into the other, every single time there is immense kind of like fear and self-doubt and darkness as well. There was a huge transition about 18 to 20 months ago where I was also coming out of a relationship, so it was like personal and professional. I was trying to figure out my value and my worth as a coach, and you know, is this book any good enough, like anymore kind of thing, what do I need to do, and all those. So that was like a lot of questioning and retreating as well. I actually just like booked a flight to Europe and just like kind of answered around there for a little bit. So definitely while these transitions sound idyllic and the path, like every time there's an abrupt like stopping of something and starting something else, there's going to be natural kind of like overwhelm and darkness. And I'd like to think that I'm getting better with it and just rolling with them, just recognizing that because I've gone through unknowns before, this unknown is just another unknown and I can handle it better. But that's not how I was like 3 unknowns ago or last year's unknown kind of thing. That was like, it felt like hell. It felt like
when you're in the moment.
In the moment, I was like, I can't see how, like, you know, and how I got through with it. Just especially with the latest one, it was leaning so much on people, because I never liked to ask for help really, and I was like, I'm this independent soul, and you know, and I think I had to learn to ask for help, and I had to learn about the power of the people around me, that even if I'm doing everything wrong and everything is going completely wrong, I have the support network that that's gonna like hold the space and be okay, and also love you through your darkest times. And so like I had to humble myself big time and just go like, I need help, like I'm struggling, I don't know if this is ever going to work out. And then very powerful thing is to let other people believe in you when you don't believe in yourself. So there's tons of times where I'm taking on a massive project now where I'm like, oh, I'm not sure, but I have people who believe in me so much that you're like, holy moly, now like I have to like believe in myself, and they see something in me, so there is something. So just allow other people to believe in you and not go like, you're wrong and like whatever, you're talking bullshit, because it's not. If they see something, then honor that, you know, just be okay with that.
Absolutely.
And humble yourself. I had to humble myself big time to get through those dark times, like
it takes strength to ask for help. It does, and that in itself is a growth process.
Yes, and something I absolutely needed to learn at the time. Like I said, I was like, I'm this independent thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, I'm not.
Help me!
How do I do this thing? Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, but also, I mean, other people's value come from helping you.
Yeah.
So when we don't ask for help, we're being incredibly selfish because they want to add value to your life and they want to help you and see you thrive and everything. So if we don't allow them to, we are robbing them of their gifts because they have something to give us that they want to give, and that's what we're here to do, is to share those gifts. So give people that opportunity to do that.
Yeah, give them the gift of giving.
Exactly. No, it is.
Yeah. That's divine. So what role does confidence play in your journey and the results that you're promising your clients and customers?
So as a high performance coach, people will look up to you and go like, you've got all the confidence and I have less than confidence. So a big challenge for me is then to help people like realize that I'm just as confident and not confident in certain situations as they are, and kind of meet people where they at and then bring them up to wherever they think they need to be. When we say that we're not confident, and so the role that confidence plays a huge role in my work. So if you want to take your business from $10,000 to $100,000 in 6 months, you have to have some confidence, grit, resourcefulness, like a whole lot of things, right? So not everybody. I find those people who've been in business or in sales for 2-3 decades, they're like, yeah, of course, like I'll go through 20 rejections, get 1 sale, I'm fine, and they know how to roll with the rejections and the natural challenges that comes with growing a business really fast. But those who haven't gone through those learning experiences and those who aren't prepared to hear 100 no's and don't have that no muscle, just have to hear no time and time again, that's where a lot of it comes in. Okay, what is confidence? If you say that you don't have confidence, you're really only comparing it to someone who you think who does have that confidence. So where's that comparison coming from and all those things? So these are the types of questions I work with every single day, and it's beautiful to see the stories that people had about themselves with their confidence, and then how we can shape it so that it's a story that now serves you more. Because I do a lot of mindset work, and I always say there's no good or bad mindset. It's a mindset. Now the question is it serving your goals or is it not? So if your part of your mindset is that I'm confident, is that serving your goals? Sure, probably. If your mindset is I'm not confident, the question is this mindset serving your goals? And if not, how desperately do you want to change it? Because a lot of people need to get to that point of desperation of like, I'm sick and tired of this. Everything I've done to date does not work. I want a new system. I want a new way. So let's work on this confidence thing. And that's where they're really ready to break through. And most people are just like 2 degrees away, or just like a couple of tweaks, or a couple of things that they have to like just change in their daily routine, or how they treat themselves and talk to themselves. And with time, it shifts. It does shift, but I deal with confidence every single day.
Okay. That's so amazing to hear. That I'm so pleased to hear that you do that. And you've alluded already to the reason that a lot of your clients would not have confidence being the comparison trap, getting stuck in that comparison with social media. It's so easy these days in the online world to compare ourselves with somebody who looks to have it all. What else? What are the other reasons that you think that your clients are lacking confidence besides comparison?
Besides comparison, it's the nature and the nurture, really. It's the story that we tell ourselves about ourselves, because we are, and this is a Tony Robbins thing, walking, talking, meaning making machines. So everything that's happened in our lives before, we give it meaning. Yes, this means I'm good enough. No, this means I'm not good enough. And we keep on like putting these labels of good enough and not good enough on ourselves. And with nature of how we are predispositions, plus how we brought up in our early influences, whether our parents or parental figures kind of help us understand that we are good enough or help us understand that we're not good enough plays a huge role in then the stories that we tell ourselves between those two labels. And that's where people really live, is on the spectrum of good enough and not good enough.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how confident would you say that you are on an average day?
So while I would love to say 10 out of 10, especially because if you're trying to teach 10 out of 10 confidence, then you kind of have to have this like, of course I'm confident, because you can only teach what you know. However, the reality is it's much more powerful to ask, how confident are you in a specific task or with a specific situation or in a specific environment? Because there's times where, you know, I'm absolutely confident in speaking to a room of 100 people. Put me in front of 10,000 people, I'm not so sure, you know? So it's like, if I had to say, you know, I'm always confident or I'm always not, those absolutes are absolutely not true. And even my favorite thing, Abigail, is when someone comes to me and they say, I have no confidence whatsoever. And then I'm like, okay, where do you have confidence? So which situations, environments, and with which people do you feel confident? Because I guarantee you there are areas there. And what I love to do is help people get to what they know in terms of where they are confident and let that grow and overflow into other areas of their lives. Because if we just have this belief, I'm not confident, there's nowhere to go from there. There's nowhere to, you can't do anything with that kind of mindset and belief. But if you go like, I'm not confident in this area right now, say in growing my business, but I am confident in the way I was treated in my career or the way I handle my family, or like, and then go to that feeling of confidence where you do have it, because somewhere you do have it, I guarantee you. Like, spend enough time with me, we'll find it. And then let that move over. So when I'm feeling less than confident, because it's a new challenge, a new boundary, it's all about boundaries and pushing that comfort zone. So it's something that, you know, is pushing me. Of course, I'm not like, you know, 10 out of 10. I might try to pretend I am, but it's like 4 or 5, if not, you know. And then I have to go back and go like, okay, where have I been in an unknown situation before and being pushed with my boundaries and thrived? And if that doesn't work, who do I need to speak with that's going to help me in the situation and uncover that confidence? So yeah, it's variable. It depends on how close to the discomfort zone you're living. And I really believe that everyone has areas in their lives where they're fully confident in, and they can leverage those areas to bring it into other areas of their lives.
Completely agree. And that context is so crucial when it comes to defining or, you know, placing yourself on the confidence scale. That's so great. Great answer. Thank you. and then speaking of different contexts and different areas of confidence. So in my online course, I talk about mind confidence, body confidence, and soul confidence, which are 2 very distinct, you know, contexts. What do you understand by each of those, mind, body, and soul confidence? And how do you work on your own confidence in those areas?
Mind, body, and soul, 3 very powerful areas, obviously. So for me, I break it down into having confidence and trust in yourself, in others, and in the universe. So with mind confidence is having that belief and trust in yourself, I suppose. In body confidence, you have to have belief that this vessel that we are housed in for this journey is going to carry you, and I'm very blessed to, you know, to have that and that health and the fitness and be able to nurture it, because if I could have the best ideas on the planet and the best aspirations and everything, but if my body isn't being taken care of to be able to service that purpose, then that's gonna be like the falling short. And then soul confidence is the universe having your back. That's for me. It's like just, and again, it's so with the universe having your back. I always say that we were born trusting the universe. We had no idea there was huge unknowns from infancy, obviously, and other people took care of us, you know, and provided for us, and we had to cry, and, you know, we were born confident in the universe and trusting the universe. Then over the years, we learned to distrust. So we are born trusting, we are born confident, and then it's so then we learn to distrust and be unconfident and like less than we could be. And then kind of like the pivot point is where you have to learn to trust again. And you have to learn to trust the universe again and be confident in yourself and the people around you and the universe again. So that's kind of been like at least my cycle of trust, distrust, back to learning how to trust. But that soul confidence is so important because if you think that the world is against you and the universe is against you, there's going to be like a chokehold or something that's holding you back no matter what you try. So just and it's with practice, going like in the situation where I had no idea what I was doing, I didn't know how it was going to work out, did the universe have my back? Yes or no? Yes, and just collecting those affirmations of where it does work out so that I can use that fuel to take it forward then.
I'm just loving all of these answers. Seriously, you're teaching me right now. Thank you.
I try.
You've mentioned affirmations several times in our time here together. Do you have any affirmations or mantras that you use regularly?
So I walk around with my notebook everywhere. So all my ideas, thoughts, to-dos, everything is in this thing, and I usually start one once a month. And the beginning of every single one, I write down, just in case I ever have any doubts about myself, I write down a little identity thing of I am the fun, creative, beautiful woman who makes other people feel great about themselves. And anytime like any doubts come up of what I'm doing, or if I'm actually having the impact that I want to have, and all those things, like is it big enough? And so it's at the front of my go-to book all the time, so I've got it on me all the time, and if I ever need a little boost, then that's it. In terms of mantras, I also believe in quality questions and having a really strong go-to question when things aren't working out. So instead of going like, why is this happening? How's this serving me and others? And I had to write down that go-to question for months and months and months, every single morning, because I wanted to reprogram my brain from asking the one question to now the new question. Did not happen overnight. Did not wake up one day and my go-to question in all default situations and when things are going wrong is like, how's this serving me? No ways. It took me months of just writing it down every single day. And now I have my little mantra and my little identity statement here. I don't have to write down that question because it's my default go-to. That's where my mind goes to now. And our brains are like computers. So if we ask it, how is this serving me? It's going to look for answers of how it's serving me. If we're going to ask it, why is everything so terrible and dark and gloomy? That's the answers it's going to give us. So that's more so than a mantra, that go-to question is so powerful.
I love that. That is such a great giveaway right there. I think that's life-changing, that.
No, it changed my life. So if we can change other people's lives, that would be amazing.
Because it was Tony Robbins who said that your life is determined by the quality of the questions you ask. And I love that. That's just a way.
And the thing is, though, it's easy to ask good questions in good times.
Yes.
It's easy to be confident in good times.
Yes.
And then the shitstorm rolls around. And the challenges. And then if we don't have a default that asks quality questions and we have a default that asks disempowering questions, that's where we start spiraling down. And so it's about creating a strong default that's an up spiral, not a down spiral.
So if somebody is starting out on their entrepreneurial journey, what is the number one piece of advice that you would give them? And what are the typical things that might get in their way of making progress?
Okay. This is also a really, really great question, because I had someone come to me the other day and they're like, I've asked the universe for a mentor. Like, but that's so vague. Like, how is the universe supposed to respond to you if you just ask them for a mentor? A mentor in what specifically? So, at least my journey, and I know it's not everyone's, but has been severely affected in a very positive way by the people I surround myself with and by mentors. So when I decided I wanted to be a world-class speaker, I said, who's a world-class speaker and how can I get as close to them as possible and learn from them? And that resulted in a business partnership and a huge event that we're putting on together. Just by asking that quality question again, going like, you know, has done this before, who's been recognized to do this before, and how can I learn from them? And I in my first couple of businesses, I think the reason why they didn't do well at all, financially at least, and I lost all my money in those, is because I didn't have a system or a mentor, and I thought I could break all the rules and I would figure it out. But in order to break the rules, you have to first master the rules. So find someone who knows the industry and learn under them. It's the fastest way to get to where you want to be. And then surround yourself with high vibe people. If there's anyone who's bringing your vibe down, spend as little time. I'm not saying spend no time with them, because sometimes we have to love our families, and it's more challenging in practice going like, I'm going to cut off out all these like low vibe people, but you still have a choice of where you spend a lot of your time. And the more time you spend with people who are just high vibration, high energy, healthy, making money, or like making a difference, or and you just find ways to add value to those people as well. That actually frustrated me for a long time, because they'd say like, upgrade your peer group and everything would be solved, and like, but why would this peer group accept me? Like, what do I have to offer? Yeah. All these people who are making more money or have more energy, making a bigger difference. Little me over here, like, how are they going to accept me? Like, that was a journey. Like, talk about having no confidence there. Yeah. There's this peer group that I know I need to upgrade, hang out with high vibe people, but little Anna, what does she have to offer, and how does she get there? And again, I'm going to say it's not a linear kind of like, there's no secret pill or anything like that. But the more I understood, the more I knew what I was good at, the more I got into a flow of work that I really loved. Because people love to hang around with other people who love what they do. If you don't love what you do, that's the first thing that needs to shift, because you can't hang out with high vibe people if you are in this like, don't love what I do scenario and headspace. Yeah. So people love to hang out with people who love what they do, who love life, who are also willing to help. So help as many people as possible. Sometimes when people are feeling stuck, and I'm like, you have a wealth of knowledge that you're not sharing. Yeah. So get on stage, get in front of 10 people, find a chamber of commerce, or find anything to speak, any kind of platform and opportunity. Just share your knowledge, because by doing that, you have to structure your thoughts, and you have to find what that value is and your message. So anything where you get to teach, right? Like write a book, get on stage, create videos. There's so many platforms these days. If anyone tells me they can't, they're lazy, and I don't have time for that. So if you're not prepared to be a bit resourceful and find a way to share your message, your gifts, structure your thoughts in a way. And it's really when I started speaking more and more. I'm like, I have a room full of people that need value from me. And the more I gave this value, the more high vibe people, the upgraded peer group, was recognizing it as well. Yeah. So the first step would be love what you do and teach your gift set. Whatever you have to teach it. Whatever format that's in, whether it's a book or speaking or blogs or videos, teach.
That's awesome. Great advice. Yeah. I seriously, I feel like you're coaching me here right now personally. So thank you for the the coaching.
You're so welcome. I love it. I wouldn't be anywhere else.
No, I can tell you love what you do. Like, you are walking your talk. Absolutely, you are walking your talk.
I didn't always feel this way. Even after I published my first book, I felt like a fraud. I felt, so now you have this book out, so what? Who's going to give a crap? And I felt like a fraud for a long time. They called it imposter syndrome, fraud, all those kind of things, because I wasn't walking my talk. So I put down all these kind of things as well of like, all these things, and then it just wasn't as congruent as it could have been. And so I couldn't use it to its full potential for maybe even like 2 years. Wow. So it was only again with, I'm like, okay, now I need to teach and speak and, you know, do these other modalities where it added to that, where I got to start walking my talk and not feeling like a fraud and going like, absolutely I'm a great coach and absolutely I'm a great speaker and all these great things, because I know what it's like to be that fraud and that imposter, and finally it's kind of like broken through, but it was not always like that.
But thank you for sharing that, because I think a lot of people do expect to just, you know, do the one thing, and when it's done, then all problems are solved. But it's not. You've done it. Yes, that's great. Well done for that. But align. You always have to. It has to align all the time. So thank you for sharing that.
Yeah. And like, what's next? What's next? What's next? Yeah,
absolutely.
And I'm by far not like. There's a lot coming up still, but yeah.
That is so cool. How do you celebrate yourself on a regular basis?
Great question. I'm a firm believer in having a winning journal or a winning practice. So a lot of people have gratitude practices, and gratitude practices are great. I do have one too. But then what happens sometimes with gratitude is that you get into a bit of a rut, and it's like the same things that you're grateful for, and it gets a bit monotonous, and it's like it's not working as you thought it would work. And the quickest fix, there's no quick fixes, like, you know, but the kind of thing that I'd add to that is make sure you add 2 or 3 wins for that day. Even if you have the worst day ever, especially on those days, include something that you're winning at. Did you cook an amazing meal? Did you meet someone randomly? Did you do a random act of kindness, or anything that's kind of feels like a win, and start collecting this evidence of being a winner. That's all most people need, is this like journal, like evidence that like I am good enough and I am winning and I am succeeding, because we're so quick to dismiss those wins, and even the small ones are like, they're so powerful, and we can leverage that for momentum. So that's just on a small kind of thing, but I love to just follow my excitement and follow what makes me happy. So if I want to go surfing in the afternoon, I'll take 2 hours and go surfing, because in that time where I'm in flow, where I like elevate my vibration, because I'm having a great time and I'm celebrating it and I'm allowing myself to have that space, all the other things are still working. So things show up because you are having fun and because you are celebrating. Don't take life so freaking seriously. That's another thing. What happened, let me just tell you this. I was at this one personal development seminar, rah thing, and I completely broke down, because at that stage I had been searching for my purpose for years and gone to every program and every course, and I'm like, what's wrong with me? Why can't I find what I'm good at? Why can't I find my purpose? And this guy, he like takes me by the shoulders and he's like, girl, loosen up. You just have to have some fun, you know, go dancing, go like do whatever. Like, it's not that serious. It's not that bad. And it took a while for that to kind of like sink in, because you know, everyone tells you like, find your purpose, find your passion, like you know, otherwise you're less than the people who have found it, which is all bullshit. I call bullshit on that entire freaking story. And then from like, that was the first kind of like, you're allowed to go have fun, you're allowed to go have fun. So celebrate and have fun as much as possible, because other things will show up. Work hard and put things in place, of course, but at least, gosh, like daily you have to feel like you're having fun, and weekly, especially weekly, you know, and have that, I call my high vibe list. Like, what makes your soul sing? Is it a walk on the beach? What are the 3 things that make your soul sing? You know, you don't need to, like, what is that? Is it a great book? Is it a pet? Is it like, you know, and then have those go-tos when you need them, in the highs and the lows. So definitely fun and celebration, following your excitement is the name of the game for me. And when I got into this new business partnership and this event and everything, I said, I'm like, this is going to be a huge undertaking, but I still want to maintain my epic lifestyle, and I still want to maintain having fun, and I don't want to work 24/7 all the time. I love what I do, but I want to like have that freedom to travel if I want to travel, and switch my phone off for a weekend and unplug if I want to unplug, and all those things. So that's really important, because that kind of maintains your energy and that vibration that you're putting out.
That is such great advice. Such great advice. And I think it's also a you know, if you bring that practice into your current life situation, you're kind of laying the groundwork for the future life. If you're not living the epic life that you dream of right now, you have these little pockets that you can have glimpses of it and make it real now.
Access it as quickly as possible. A lot of people ask me, how do I become successful? How do I do this? How do I do that? Normalize success. Normalize having fun. Normalize having high vibration. Bring it into your day today. And there are definitely ways
for sure.
to do that.
Yeah, for me, it's going to the forest.
Yeah.
Like, go run in the forest. That for me is like, that's my happy place.
That's amazing.
Costs nothing.
Exactly.
Down the road. It's amazing.
Exactly. So normalize fun and success and confidence as well. And then it shows up.
Yeah. So I firmly believe that if everybody in the world on this planet was maybe just 5% kinder to themselves, then this planet as a whole would be that much more positive, and the positivity vibes would just exponentially grow. What do you think that kindness looks like if somebody were to be kinder to themselves?
Okay. Well, whether it's 2% or 50% or 5%, we'll never know. But what I do know is that most people do not treat themselves like they do their best friends. They don't even treat themselves as well as they treat an enemy a lot of time. And that again is the conditioning and the stories that we tell ourselves, and you know, it is possible to reprogram that, but it is bringing that kindness and that softness and the surrender and like being okay with the darknesses and the lightnesses and everything in between, embracing the crazy and the weird and wonderful of ourselves and other people. And you know, when we come across someone who's a little bit different or crazy, and then we're like, oh, that's awesome, I love that, that's like brings color and excitement into the world. And then when we come across that same kind of weirdness or craziness or awesomeness inside of us, we're like, no, put that away. Put, like, you know, that's wrong. So I really love to invite people to embrace, if they had to see this kind of thing that's bothering them in themselves in someone else, how would that affect them? And just asking that question, go like, oh yeah, that's totally cool. Like, I can love that. I can love that about myself as well. Instead of resisting it so much. So definitely kinder to yourself.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And then lastly, what does confidence mean to you?
What does confidence mean to me? I sometimes, it depends on the context, say that confidence is overrated and courage is needed. A lot of people go, and what I love about what you're doing, Abigail, is you're demystifying confidence, because the people who have it are like, yeah, I'm confident, so what? The people who don't go like, oh, I'm not confident, all these other confidence. So there's this like mysticism around what is confidence and why do some people have it and other people don't. So that's why I really love your work here.
Thank you.
Now, if you don't have confidence, then it is overrated, because it's literally courage again and again until you're confident in that area. Like I've already said before, I'm not confident in every single situation. Depends how close to the discomfort zone I am. So if you can't have confidence, have courage, or find ways to have courage. And that someone said to me that once, and that one piece of advice kind of like has helped me make bold decisions. And it wasn't the confidence. I wasn't confident in that decision. I was just, in that moment, courageous enough to take that step. And yeah, there was a CEO, I forgot what his name is now. He was asked, how do you always make the right decisions? And he said, I make decisions and then I make them right. So that's again like with the resourcefulness and understanding that the universe has your back and you've got this. And yeah, so
that's awesome. Well, thank you so much, Anna, for sharing so many nuggets of wisdom here today, sharing your story, sharing your inspiration, coaching me personally one-on-one and everybody who's watching here today. And if people want to find out more from you and maybe check out your programs, where can they find you?
Mostly on my website, so annashilina.com, and all my social handles are annashilina, so whether that's Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. And yeah, come on over, see what I'm up to. It's really, I'm working on some really exciting projects, like, you know, so
yes. Oh,
Yeah,
well,
it's all
thank
there.
you. Thank you again for sharing everything, for giving us your time and your energy here. It's such a gift, and I'm inspired by you daily. So thank you for being you.
Thank you, Abigail, and thank you for the platform. What an amazing platform. Thank you.
So thanks for joining us here today. I hope you enjoyed this chat as much as I did. I know I'm going to be going back and rewatching, and I'm lucky that I get to edit all of this, so I have to watch it again. But I will choose to come back again and again, and I hope you do too. Please do go and follow Anna, and I'll see you again in the next episode.